Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of the creditrepairshop.com. And in today's video, we're going to have big question and answer session. I like to do this every once in a while. Some of the best questions come from you, the YouTube subscribers. And what makes the big thing is that sometimes a question is asked in a different way. And I was like, I never thought about it that way. And it kind of shows how people might be thinking. And that was went from answering the YouTube questions when I had really got things going on YouTube, is where I really started to understand completely that emotion plays a huge part in the way that people describe what's going on in their life. Like when someone is under emotional stress from dealing with credit, dealing with debt, you can't just come back at them with, oh, stop spending money. Oh, budget your money. Oh, clean up your credit. If it was that easy, everybody would be doing it. What happens is that when we are under a lot of stress, let me walk you down what happens to us as individuals. Number one, when we're running out of quote unquote willpower, we tend to snack or eat. And it is not really to snack or eat. What we're trying to do is rebuild our energy. We all do it. It doesn't matter if you're skinny, overweight, medium, whatever. We all do it. Some people utilize other things like drugs or alcohol, stuff like that. But I would say 99.9% of the people, when you start to get stressed and overwhelmed, we tend to reach out and start eating snacks and food. And that is to replenish the willpower for what we're going through. So when someone comes at you and you're telling them, I can't pay my bills, the debt collectors are calling me, the rent is due, they garnished my wages, they took money out of my bank account. People who are not trained in understanding how we react to things, that the first level is going to be an emotional level and then logic, they'll throw all of this advice at you and they forget that they have to lower your level of anxiety first. And the way to lower a person's level of anxiety is to first start understanding that they're going through the stuff. So no matter what solution you give them, they're still going to have those emotions. And some people just try to overlook those emotions. I don't overlook those emotions. And I try to really, when I respond to people, I listen to what you're saying on your comment, and if I feel any what's the right word? If I sense any emotional in your typing or your comment, I try to relieve that stress first and then give the solution, because I think that that's very important, because we're people first. We are people first. Credit, debt, cars, houses, material items, all of that stuff comes later. comes later. We are humans first, and we want to feel respected. We want to feel appreciated. We want, on different levels, everybody has their own idea of feeling respected. But respect is the word, but everybody has their own way of getting to respect. Everybody has their own idea of what they consider, how they relate to people. We all want to relate well with people, but we all have a different road to get to that relationship with people. That's what makes us different as humans. And so that's why I want to answer the questions this way, where some of the times when I answer the questions here, it helps people that potentially had the question and they were afraid to type it in. Like there are people who have reached out to me and they didn't feel too comfortable typing out their question on YouTube, and so I want to help those people out also. So first question here was someone had talked about the Credit One Bank. When they sell debt to debt collectors, Credit One Bank has a stipulation in most of their contracts. There have been some. I don't know if it was if those contracts were before. I'm gonna have to look at those dates. But in the ones that we've recently looked at, where people were getting sued by debt collectors who purchased the debt from Credit One Bank, it specifically states that Credit One Bank cannot sell that debt to any other debt collection company. And that stems from they don't want to be responsible for what another debt collector decides to do or how they do it with how they call out to people, how they collect people, how their reps talk to people. They did not make the original contract to sell the debt with the I guess it would be the fourth party debt collection company, and they don't want to be held responsible for anything that they do wrong. And so they had it written in their contracts that the debt collector who purchased the debt could not sell the debt to another debt collector, could not assign the debt to another debt collector. That the debt collector who purchased the debt had to be the one who would collect on the debt. Now, there was a good question someone asked here on YouTube where they said, what about debt collectors who allow another debt collector to collect on that debt from Credit One? And I said that would be something that would have to be tested. So if you're being sued by a debt collector, you always want to look at the bill of sale. When you look at the bill of sale, you will see who purchased the debt. And if you see a debt collection company who purchased a debt and then they sold it to another debt collector, or you see all these amendments on there, that is something that you can question in your affirmative defense against them, because that's going to be a problem. Because the documents, the further down the documents go, the more unreliable they could be in the eyes of you and in the eyes of the court if you bring that up as your defense. If you bring that up, and stacked on top of that, if you see on there that Credit One Bank or someone else, another original creditor, stated that they don't want the debt to be resold because they don't want to have any issues, that it could be on there. That's why you'll see some of these credit card companies or these lenders, they'll have these amendments, these additions to your privacy, and additions to where they'll say if they sell the debt that they're not going to be held responsible for what the debt collector does. That they're, once they sell it to them, it's gone. They have no responsibility. As a matter of fact, when some people call the original creditors, they'll say we have nothing to do with it. Like their reps just seem like it's on the screen, and it says if any of these charged off people who call us and the debt has been sold, something big must come up over the screen saying we have nothing to do with it and buy. Like, people have reported that they're like, my situation is better, and I tried to contact the original creditor to try to work something out. And one guy that we had as a client, he said he wanted to pay 100%. It was like, told my staff, I need to deal with this. Some money came into a little bit of money, said he wanted to pay 100%, didn't even want to settle for less. And they ended up saying, hey, we can't deal with you. And that's when he came to us, and I'm glad he came to us, because this gentleman had $20,000 that he was ready to settle on multiple accounts. And guess what? We found out with, I think all three accounts, he didn't have to pay anything for him, and they sent the letter saying he didn't owe the debt. That's why you got to always verify the debt, and that's what I'm going to go into in the next question that we have here. In the next question, we have an individual who said, let's see here, where are we at? Someone surrendered their car Whoa, I almost put this in the wrong section. Someone surrendered their vehicle and they were wondering what was the difference between if you give the vehicle back, if you surrender the vehicle, and what is the difference if you don't surrender the vehicle where they just come and repossess it. The only difference is that they didn't have to they didn't have to do a repo on the vehicle and add additional costs to getting the vehicle back. That's really the only difference. It's still going to show as a charge off on there, but it's going to say voluntary surrender instead of repo. But you still have the same thing's going to happen. So let me tell you what you need to look at when you surrender your vehicle. Let's see. On here, on the response that I wrote to this individual, said when you repo, it's just that they're not going to have additional fees, but it's still going to show off as a charge off. So here are the steps. You get a vehicle back. Creditor will sell at auction. Get an auction statement to see the proof of what the car sold for. You have a right to get that. Review your original contract for any credit insurance or payment insurance. You'll want to make sure that the dealer or the finance company didn't get paid some money or all the money by filing a claim with their insurance, with the insurance company that is noted on there for the payment insurance or credit insurance. And then if they sell the debt to a debt collector, you want to do a full debt validation to the debt collection company regardless. You want to still do that because you want to make sure that they have all the appropriate paperwork to continue doing what they're doing. Had another question on here where person said, according to 15 USC 1692 CA11, is that and this is the way that debt collectors are allowed to contact you. So the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act 15 USC 1692 CA1 is actually CA1. Debt collector cannot contact the consumer at unusual or inconvenient time or place without the consumer's prior consent or a court order. This includes personal visits in the absence of other information. Debt collectors should assume that a convenient time to contact a consumer is between 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. I don't know if you could still do 9 p.m. local time. I do not believe that you could still do to 9 p.m. I think that they would stop at 7 or 8. I have not seen it. I have not seen it last till 9 p.m. The 9 p.m. I'm going to put on here, the 9 p.m. time is iffy. I don't think that think they would call that late. Let's see here. Let's get to another one here. You know, one of the things that happened over the weekend, I had saw some reports about some of the debt collection companies on some of the tactics that they're using right now, and some of them are very unique. Like someone had reported that they are doing like these test text. So say for instance they don't know for sure that it's your number, and they're not supposed to. Let's just put it this way: when a debt collector calls a number that they think is yours, they'll ask for the person. They're not supposed to say anything about the reason why until they know that they're talking to the right person. Well, it looks like they're trying to do something similar with texting out to people, where they're like trying to test and it'll be like a vague question, trying to get the person to respond. Number one, I can tell you when you respond, especially with Apple phones, once you respond, it allows the communications and calls to go through regular. So if you, let's just say, for instance, you a debt collector reaches out to you through text, and they know that it is your number, but they want to make sure, or they figure that it's your number and they want to make sure, and then you reply back to the text, who is this? So when they call you, it should not, it probably 9 times out of 10 won't show up as spam. It's just going to show up as the number, which will tend to make you want to answer that number when they call you. And also they utilize a system, uh, and we this is something that we had actually used with the credit repair shop. Hold on, I'm gonna take a little sip of coffee. We had used it with the credit repair shop way in the past, but I didn't feel comfortable doing it. It's you can call people and these phone systems will pick a number from that person's area, and then people are more they're more willing to answer a call that's in their area. I do it all the time, and they would but when we did it, my my sales team, they said, it just doesn't seem good because people think that we're in their area. And I said, I agree with that, because we're not in everyone's area. So I don't think, I want to be transparent. If we say we can help you, we're helping you from where we're at. That's transparency, not trying to get you to answer the phone as if we're in your area, and then we got to do a bait and switch. Oh, we're not in your area. Person say, well, what's your address? You got a area code of I'll just say 312 for Chicago, and you're not in Chicago. So I didn't feel comfortable doing that, and we had stopped that. That was years ago, a long time ago. But debt collectors are using that system to get people to answer the phone. There was a negotiations that we were going through, very successful one, but even the lawyer was using a system like that, and I thought that was, I just thought that for a lawyer to use that was, and it's probably because the company set it up that way. So I'm not saying that it was that individual, because just in case you're watching the video and we need to do some more settlements with you, but I just thought that it gives you, I don't know, it just gives, maybe it doesn't to you, but it just gives a weird feeling, because if a person, it makes it like, if you can envision this, they're close to you and then they're not close to you when you find out. And that just, with some people, maybe you're different, you might have a different feeling on it. All right, let's see. So say, what's the next one here? We had another one. Someone said thank you for everything that we do. I really appreciate it. That comment. Let's see here. I get paid. Someone said that they get paid 1099 earnings. Can they can't touch that. That's not true. If you get a judgment against you and they see that you're not a W-2 employee, the next thing that they're going to try to do is that they're going to try to garnish your bank account. So I'm going to write on here the next step if they get a judgment. They can attempt to your bank account. I think, what I believe happens with this is that there's this separation levels in our mind. It's like a automatic separation. So say, for instance, you are a W-2 worker, you get a judgment, they can garnish your wages easy. Say that you're 1099, you get money 1099, so that means that you're independent contractor. The thought process separation for people, what they do and this is why I say it's an emotional thing. This has to do a lot with emotions. Follow me on this. So what a person will do is that because they have that level of separation, which is going to be, my money is protected in that because I'm a 1099 employee. So that's an emotional. That's emotion. People taking your money will bring up emotions in all of us. So what that person did is they detached themselves from what could potentially happen solely based on the emotional feeling of being protected with the 1090 with being a 1099 employee. The only way that the person would be fully 100% protected is if they have a LLC company that is fully 100% where they cannot touch that money, and they had their own personal bank account. And then they can go and try to mess with the personal bank account, but they cannot go and do anything with the company. So if you set up your company and have everything the right way, they are not going to be able to do anything with with that money. I mean, be able to do anything even if they get a judgment, other than put a lien on personal property and stuff like that, and you can deal with it at a later date when you get in a better position. Okay, I just wanted to put an extensive answer on there for this individual. We got someone else here. I'm in the repossession phase. I want to get on a payment plan. I got the car back in 2019 when my parents went homeless. I got me to a car in my name. Yes, the car I wanted. However, at the time during COVID, wasn't able to deal with the payments. So now I just got a car in a lot I can't drive. How do I get so I can put it on insurance with paper and tags? You gotta, there's a lot of people that run into this situation. You have to contact the lien holder and try to work out a deal. You just have to do it. If they sold the debt, then you could potentially ask for a new title, and they can send the information to the lien holder, and the lien holder says that they're not the owner of the debt and they don't forward any information to the DMV, potentially your lien could be released. I've seen that happen also. Not to say in your situation it could happen, but that's something that could happen. I'm going to put an extensive answer on here and I'll be right back. Okay, we had a question here. Someone said that they couldn't get in touch with us. They wanted us to have better communication. Let me tell you the way that we do our system. If you sign up with us, and some people, for some reason, don't follow these instructions, that's not a problem. It's just that we get a lot of calls. If you sign up with us, this is a rule. You're hearing it straight from me. You don't call the sales team. In my building, we have two different sections. Sales team is in one department. I really do have a real company. It's not just me sitting here. I have full-time employees that actually put in overtime this weekend on Saturday and Sunday. Like working on Saturday and Sunday. That means that they work 7 days this past week. 7 days. Call customer service. Email customer service. You have those numbers. You have those emails. That's the department. Some of the times, because no one is perfect, the sales team forget to bring it to the customer service department. They're supposed to. I train them to do it, but they get, just like you with your job, you get into a flow and you might forget it. And also, it's on a whole different level of the building. On a whole different level of the building. And so, and yes, people should get their butts up and walk up the stairs. It's two levels of stairs. Get your butt up, do it. Sometimes people, they write it down on their notes and they don't do it. I can tell you that my customer service team, the lead customer service uh, team leader, will go to the salespeople's desk and look around to see if they have notes on stuff that they were supposed to bring upstairs. We try to do our best on it. Also, when you call the customer service, the way that has worked the best, and I put this system in place more than about maybe 3-4 years ago, and it really solved a lot of problems. When you call any of the customer service team, we have 7 different numbers, customer service. It all still goes into one answering service that's transcripted. Leave your message there, because then the customer service team is going to call you as they get them. They're going to just do, hey, you call, you call, you call, you call, you call. That's how they're going to do it. And that works because, number one, I get to see the stuff that comes in. I get to see if it was even downloaded to be able to call the person back. I get to see what the person asked for. So if there's any confusion about anything, sometimes, like I called, left a message, I could go in there and be like, okay, they did call. They did leave a message. Did I get on my customer service team? Other times, I called, I left a message, typed in there, because it takes the phone number too. We don't got any calls from you. We don't have any messages from you. Maybe you just called and even if you called and hang up, it would still record the caller ID. I get that emailed to a certain email, so I would be able to see it. Not to say that you're doing that. I'm just saying that that's what we got to do. So if you if you are a customer, you already have the customer service emails. You already have the phone number. Call that number. We will call you back. Someone put something about being judgment proof. I had someone, a gentleman the other day, he said that his son, something happened where son got a loan. He got the loan for his son. And, things didn't go right. And he's on disability. He's on retirement income. And I made a video on this years ago, and people were always saying, you didn't give no solution on that. You didn't give no solution on that. When I gave a solution, if you are on disability income, if you are only getting retirement income, this is the problem, is that you got to notify them about this. If you don't notify them about this, they're not going to just guess. And you can stop the lawsuit early if you notify them. If they decide to continue, see, that's that emotional part. That's that emotional part. A lot of people will not move forward because of emotional. And when I talked to the gentleman, I had went through and let him tell me about the process, about what happened with his son. Because, let's just be real for you that are still listening. There were times where I had to deal with families where the parent utilized the child's credit to be able to keep the lights on in the house, to pay the water bill, to do certain things. And then a time came where there was a time that this had to be dealt with. And you don't just deal with that where you just fix it, because this is what happened. The parent is like, I remember this like it was yesterday. The parent was like, I'm going to pay to get my kid's stuff fixed. The kid is an adult, getting ready to go to college, has the bad stuff on their credit reports, can't get student loans. The parent said, I'm going to pay to fix it. I want to, we need to take care of this. Even with the collections, I'm going to pay those. I'm in a better situation. I just had to do this back then, and I should have taken care of this. Like this had actually happened to when their child was like 14, 15 years old. So they had time to kind of take care of it. But she said, I had gotten divorced, I had to do what I had to do. And I was like, I understand that. I understand that this is something that a lot of people have faced. And I even kind of shared what happened with me and my wife, where We had to do what we had to do, to work our way out of the debt. We didn't use our kids' stuff, but still, we had to do. Our credit was crashed, and but the kid, see, this is the thing, or the young man. It wasn't just about paying to fix my credit and get this stuff taken care of. It was, why did you do this to me? Why did you do this to me? So remember when I said earlier that people want to have respect, but they want to get respect their own way? That's a good example of it right there. Why did you do this to me? In a way, the kid is saying, I don't care about you're going to fix it. I expect you to fix it, but why did you do this to me? And that's because that's the emotional roadmap on how this young man is going to feel for everything that he does in his life, on how he will judge if he's being respected or not respected. So I can say to you, don't do nothing behind this young man's back, because it doesn't matter if you're a parent, his parent, grandparent, whoever, you're going to have bad feelings about it. And it's going to probably stem from what happened with that situation right there. So if you are exempt, any exemptions, you got to be proactive. Get that information to the debt collection attorney, the plaintiff attorney. Let them know, because they could get that to their client and have their client make a decision on if they're going to want to move forward with the case. Let's see here. And that's what the person here had said, that they're on Social Security. Yes, you are. Judgment proof for collecting. Let's see here. To sell, someone put on here, it's stupid for anyone to sell an amount owed to a debt collector because they simply write off the amount. How stupid. Here's the deal. When they write off the amount, that is something that they have to do to remain compliant with the banking laws. That's what that's about. With lending laws, like, just imagine, what if you were the president of a big credit card company, and your accounting department would just write off stuff and you didn't know what that write-off meant. Or maybe they didn't, you're just saying like, oh, they could just simply write it off. They have to write that off, because they have to say, we have this many performing accounts and we have this many non-performing accounts. So first they're going to charge it off, then they're going to write it off. They have to do that, because you want to know what's the status of the business. You see this all the time. I got CNBC up here on one of my TVs, and you gotta, like, this is how we know how a company is doing. How many good accounts they have, how many bad accounts they have, how many people are paying on their accounts, how many people are 30 days late, 60 days late, 90 days late. This is how the system works. So it's not just about it's stupid for them to sell to a debt collector, because the debt collector has a right to be able to collect 100% of that debt. And they have been getting 100% of that debt. You can go and look and see that these debt collectors are making multi-millions, or if not billions of dollars, collecting debt from people. And people don't know their rights with dealing with the debt, but your right has nothing to do, or your rights have nothing to do with them being able to buy the debt and come and collect the debt from you. Your rights, it has to do with them being able to claim the amount that they're trying to collect from you, making them prove how they came up with that amount. And among other things like privacy, contract, a whole bunch of other stuff. And if you need help with that, there's links below this video. Let's see here. have a debt. Where we got debt collector did not respond to a debt verification until 30 days later, and then they put in that letter that they wanted the individual to call them. If what you have to do is you resend them a letter and you state that you want all communications in writing, and you send that certified. And if they don't uh, if they don't abide by that, they're going to be in violation of the Fair Debt Collections Practices Act, because if you tell them specifically that you want them to respond in writing, they have to follow that. Let's see here. Someone put on here there was something, because the internet is wide open, about our BBB rating. I can tell you that if you look at how long we've been in business, how many people we have helped, how many actual comments are on there, uh, this is what happened. This is the truth. The BBB, we were a member of the Better Business Bureau, which I respect their business. Person came to me in a threatening manner, which was, you need to be a member. And I was like, well, you need to be a member. So I paid the membership. I didn't feel too good about the way that they came at me, because it was like they knew that I was a new company. This was back in '06. And I was like, okay, I'll pay the fee. No problem. A+ rating. A+ rating with nothing other than just being a member, paying the fee. Few years later, because I prioritize workers, budgeting, expenses and stuff, I was just like, this is not something that I want to have, that I want to keep as an expense. And the person came and they were like very upset, very, I, they, it was a threatening way of not threatening. They didn't say that they were going to do something, but I felt that they could potentially do something. And when I didn't pay the fee, they changed our rating. That's the real true story. I wish that there was a way to go all the way back in history. Like maybe I should have took a picture. I think I did have a picture, and I was showing that to people. And I was just like, hey, we're going to do what we're going to do. I look at it with the Better Business Bureau. I look at it like girlfriend, boyfriend stuff. You could have a, a bad relationship with somebody, and other people say, well, the person treats me just fine. And I think that with our work, with what I do, or what I do on here, uh, what I do with helping people, that I'm real. And over time, people see with dealing with us that we are here. Like, think about it. How far will people go to help you? How far? That's the thing. How far? Better Business Bureau will only go to a certain point on trying to help people. We go as far as we are able to go. Like, I mean, some of the research and stuff that we do and help with people far exceeds what other companies and what other quote unquote uh, consumer organizations and stuff have done. By far. By far. So enough said on that. Let's see here. Okay, so someone said, what if they don't tell you all these things? And that was from the video with the mini Miranda warning. That is an excellent question. Here's the deal with that, is that they don't have to tell you all of those things. They basically only really have to tell you that this is that they're trying to attempt to collect the debt. What you can do, if you're a subscriber to my channel, if you're not a subscriber, you better subscribe right now. I'm going to give you a few seconds. If you're not a subscriber to my channel, you better subscribe right now, because what I'm about to tell you can make the difference in having a debt collection stop. So I'm going to give you a few seconds here. Click that button, subscribe, hit that notification bell. because what I'm about to tell you will stop debt collectors. So here's the deal. They don't expect you to know about this mini Miranda warning. They've given this warning for years, and they basically will say this is an attempt to collect the debt, and anything that you say will be used in an attempt to collect on that debt. They don't expect you to know about all of the other stuff. And if you have not seen my video on the mini Miranda warning, go and see it. Go and see it. Subscribe to my channel, number one, and then you will go and see this. People don't talk about this stuff. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a whole bunch of new videos about it. What you do is you write back to them and you say that their representative, which all of these calls are recorded, did not give you a full mini Miranda warning. This is something that this is actually called that. So like, this isn't something that's just made up out of thin air. I didn't come up with, how they'll be like the 609 letter and all of that stuff. This is something that is truly there and that they're supposed to do it, but they've gotten so used to just giving you the first parts of it, because who's going to sit there, are they going to set themselves up to not be able to collect on the debt? They already have a hard enough time when they tell you that this is an attempt to collect the debt and anything that you say. And then they're going to go in there and say that you have a right to not say anything, that you have a right to seek legal advice, and that if you don't have the money for legal advice, that they can give you suggestions on where you could go. They're trying to collect on the debt. They're trying to collect on the debt. All right, let's see here. Let's see here. Let's see here. Thank you for somebody said thank you for the clarification. I'm going to get in here and answer some more. If you need help with your credit, please visit us at thecreditrepairshop.com. Watch the video, What Makes Us Different, so you can see my 8-point validation process, my 2-phase settlement process. That's the way that we repair credit and help people. And if you can't follow that way, you can choose another company, and that's okay. If you need your credit reports and scores, go to the website your3scores.com to grab your TransUnion, Equifax, Experian credit reports and all 3 scores. If you have debt collectors coming after you, grab my 3-pack of letters. Statute of limitations letter for debt that is past the legal statute of limitations to collect. Debt validation letter so you can be able to go, cease and desist collection activities letter, then the debt validation letter, because cease and desist collection activities letters to try to get them to stop coming after you, period. It has some questions in there for the debt collector that they may not want you to ask them, that they may not have the answers to, and it can potentially stop them from coming after you for the debt. And if they still believe that they want to collect on the debt because they did pay money, even though it's pennies on the dollar, they want to, keep their profits up, they're going to test it and see if you're going to continue or if you're going to quit, and then they're going to, do whatever they're going to do to try to collect on that debt. Use the one that's appropriate for your specific situation. The links are below this video or above this video, depending on which platform you're watching. Please subscribe to the channel, post your questions and comments, like this video. You know my motto. You like this video. You like this video because I help you. When you like it, it helps you help other people that are in the same or similar situation as you. Thank you for your time. This is Stephen A. Williams, President and Founder of thecreditrepairshop.com.